Hello, everybody. Welcome back to CMO Chats. We continue our knowledge sharing mission through a series of interviews with marketing leaders from all over the world. And today, we are very thrilled to have Jubin with us today.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. Glad to be here. And hi, welcome everyone to CMO Chats. I'm Jubin Mehta. I'm the Global Marketing Director at Capillary Technologies.
Well, I'm really excited for this session, Jubin. So how about you tell us a bit more about yourself and your role in Capillary Tech?
My role at Capillary looks at marketing for the entire of our global activities. So Capillary, we are in a short is like we are a loyalty management solutions provider. We started back in 2008, and 2021 onwards is when our focus kind of became really global, and we have offices. We are headquartered in India, but we have offices across Southeast Asia, in the US, and especially with a couple of acquisitions in the US coming in the last 2 or 3 years. As far as marketing goes, my role goes, I think 2 or 3 key priorities. I think distributing and effectively distributing our messaging, which can help brands, meaningfully engage with their customers. So we do this through several channels, but how can we do this in the most effective manner through be it events, be it our GTM engineering motion, be it content. So yeah, it involves, we have a 20-member marketing team spread across the globe. We have centralized some of the functions, and our US and Asia, we have a 3 center, like brand design and marketing ops are centralized, and we have a Asia head and a US head all kind of reporting into me. So that's how we are structured, and that's what my role entails.
Well, that's a really global kind of coverage, and to think that a lot of things happen in the background, and it always happens to be consistency is super important when it comes to working with different regions. So Jubin, what is your main marketing focus at the moment?
We are also in a very interesting area because we help primarily enterprise brands, and we had an SMB division which we kind of closed in 2021. So now we are focused only on, so to say, brands with revenues upwards of $500 million. So it's a relatively small TAM that we kind of go after. And the marketing space itself, as all of us are aware, is kind of going through a drastic change in this world of AI. So a lot of focus that's going on is towards the GTM engineering motion and the generative engine optimization, the new name for SEO. So I think apart from what we traditionally did of roundtables and events and all of that, we have kind of moved our outbound motion to GTM engineering and focusing a lot on how does Capillary's name kind of come up when anyone is searching on any of the LLMs, be ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever. So I think a lot of focus is going on there. But apart from that, yes, I think all the traditional things of content marketing, social media to ABM and all of that continues.
And as you mentioned, there are a lot of changes with the role of marketing nowadays. So because of those changes, how do you now define success in marketing?
Success in marketing is like, it also kind of depends on who we're talking to, and internally, externally, it's always a debate, and it's a healthy debate to kind of have brand awareness, lead gen. So the way I look at it is kind of there are the softer elements of measuring success, and there are the harder elements. So our prospects kind of telling us when they find us, or when they're talking to our sales or talking to us wherever that. Like a couple of instances, we were at an event recently, and someone prospect walked up to us and said, "Hey, I found you on ChatGPT." So that's a win. That's a short win. Okay, one of the tactic that's working out. So is that happening? What are prospects telling us in the first interaction? I think those are the signals that you need to pick on. That, hey, I read about you in the press, I read this article, and are they, when they're searching for something that is useful to them, are they coming across thought leadership articles, or are they coming across things that we put out? And are we getting those organic signals? So that's what I keep telling the team as well, and internally, that these are the softer elements that we kind of need to keep measuring and just getting signals. And of course, what we track internally is from the traditional funnel of we have an added layer of conversations, and then MQLs, and then SRLs and opportunities. So what we try and do is that, is our MQL to SRL ratio getting better? Is that conversion getting better? Like, are we talking to sales more and more? And how do we help accelerate the pipeline and funnel? So those are the way, and once that starts getting better, those are the metrics that we look at.
And I agree with what you said about soft point touches. Those are actually the ones that we really should be trying to gather more of. Where are our current prospects finding out about us? And even what are the current needs that they're looking for? Hence, they see us as a possible option or a first touch point. So that's definitely some of the things that we're seeing. AI or even the current different platforms we engage with them really blow out of. So what would you say, since we talked about kind of like, the good things of like reaching out with their prospects, what would you say is the biggest challenge marketers face today?
I think again, like AI is the biggest push forward, and it's also a challenge in a way. Like it's a sea of things out there. So much content, so much everything. How does a brand truly kind of stand out, right? How do you? It's a challenge marketers face day in and day out, and it's not something new. I would say, but what I have learned in my experience is that, are you really supporting your customer in their journey? I think, and a lot of people say this, and that's effectively it comes there, like a product or like whoever, any service or business to exist, its purpose primarily is the customer getting some value out of it. And through our messaging, through our marketing, are we able to enable that journey? If a customer is finding some trying to figure out some solution, are we able to enable that journey and being in the right places? Now, this again brings back to me where is our focus in terms of marketing channels. And when I said generative engine optimization, because people are now searching there more and more. Everyone's going to an LLM to search. Are we present where the our prospect is looking to search? Are we present at say these small dinners or conferences that are happening? Because as much as online is prevalent, I think that real human connection is still very important, and people meeting his person is a whole different ballgame. So are we present where the customer is, where the prospect is? So I would say figuring out your differentiator really well and communicating that is a challenge and an opportunity that a marketer continuously needs to keep working on.
And I couldn't agree more, Jubin. I think with regard to the people or our customers, marketing really stands a role where we create platforms to voice out, their current challenges and how we can really connect with them in a very, as you mentioned, organic way.
Yeah.
Since you talked about events, my next question is actually more on what's the most successful event or engagement piece you've hosted and why?
It is an event. I think we have different formats of events that we do, from closed door roundtables to dinners to our annual customer event called Captivate. And this, it's something that we initiated just 2 years ago, but we've seen like a lot of success with that. This is a global annual customer event where we have customers from all across the globe flying in. We did the first one in Dubai, second one was in Mumbai, India, and the third one is likely going to be in the US or somewhere in Southeast Asia. So let's see where that happens. But what that kind of enables is that customers talking to other customers, connecting with them in person. There's a 2 day, 2 to 3 day event. So there is a fun outing that we also do, go out somewhere nice, have a relaxed time. That's when they're truly able to connect with each other. And it's always best when a customer hears from a peer customer and not from Capillary in that sense. So what we do is that we have 6 or 7 customer showcases where everyone comes and say that, how this is how we are using the platform, and that's how it's adding value to us. It gives us in a way a captive audience or a captive chance to enable their journeys, showcase our product roadmap, what we are building out. And customers remember this, as in like it's been 2 years, and everyone kind of whenever we speak to customers or prospects also, sometimes they say that, hey, when's the next one happening? So it becomes an engagement point. And we have a little funny incident as well, because sometimes things don't go on track all the time. For instance, we were in Dubai, the first one, and Dubai never sees floods, but we were having the conference and we were in the middle of the flood season, and people had a very hard time somehow reaching there, but they made it. And there was also a leak from the conference. It's a 5-star hotel. There was a leak from there. So it's a, what do you say? As in hindsight, everyone still remember that, oh, there was water in the conference room. So we kind of joke about it now, but it gives us these, moments to kind of go back to. So yeah, I think these annual customer event has been the most powerful engagement events that we've done.
And I like what you said about, customers meeting other customers, even customers meeting prospects that you are, speaking with. It
Right.
really gives a lot of like insight as to how it's working for them and how it could possibly work for those that haven't worked with you yet. And then in some sense for me, non-direct selling through those type of interactions super help create like a really good journey for your customers or potential customers. We're going to go about your career as a marketing leader. So my question is, what career advice would you like to give to anyone starting in the marketing industry?
I have had a rather non-linear curve to marketing because I started my career as a journalist. Then I took a 5 year sabbatical actually, where I was a monk for 5 years, and then got back to the world and took up marketing on the other side of the journalism world. So seen a lot of different worldviews in that sense. And anyone who's starting out in marketing or any vertical, I would say, one thing, of course, AI you cannot ignore. Marketers need to be fully up to date about what's happening in the world of AI. But more traditional advice would be like thinking first principles. If I am doing something, question why am I doing this? You might be an intern just starting out, you might be fresh into the job, but go to the first principles of if my boss is asking me to do something, why does he or she want to get this done? So go to that level of thinking and then operate from that. Because once you have mental clarity that, oh, okay, this is a problem, this is what we are trying to achieve, and this is the solution, then there's entirely different flavor on how you operate. So I would say go to first principles, ask why till you really understand, and then kind of jump into solving.
If we all have a shared goal, then it makes it a little bit more of a collaborative approach, really trying to reach for why we're doing these things.
Yeah.
So what do you believe is the biggest opportunity for marketing leaders or CMOs today that might not have been available in the past?
I think if you are in a marketing leading position right now, and the way things have shaped up, I think you can do a lot more with a lot less. Now there are what like a shooting an ad, for instance, would have taken a lot of budget and a lot of time. With in this current age of AI, you can do it in like a fraction of that. And there are debates, of course. There are two ways of looking at it. Do you want to where is the creative element in all of that? But what I'm trying to say is that overall, be it any field within marketing, I think you can uh, achieve a lot more in a lot less. Even smaller team sizes, I'm seeing that happening across the industries in the marketing domain, other domains as well. And then the team size is shrinking. And of course, there are concerns about job cuts and all of that. But my belief is that this will lead to more jobs in new fields. So I think it's an exciting time that way. And with all the tools and all the data as well, I think one another thing that marketers have now is being able to tie all the marketing activities to revenue generation. That you can now really actually prove that, hey, marketing is not just a cost center, and this is how it's contributing to revenue. For instance, we have a very strong tech tracking mechanism that what are the touch points that a prospect had before they actually came into the funnel and became a customer. So with all the data points that we are able to generate, I think being a revenue driver is something that a marketing leader can very well do.
I couldn't agree more. I think right now we are seeing marketing leaders' roles evolve and even the impact that we're doing across the market. So it's definitely something that will change and maybe even for the better as we adapt a lot of these tools. So my next question would be, what does the future of marketing look like for you now that we're seeing a lot of these current changes?
Future of marketing is very exciting and also invisible in a way, because I borrow this term. I was listening to a podcast or I read it somewhere that when a technology kind of becomes mainstream, it kind of becomes invisible. Electricity is there everywhere, but it's invisible. AI is currently, we are able to see it, but it will become invisible. And when that happens, I think things that kind of surprise us right now won't surprise us. Like the data which can come at fingertips, like Grammarly, for instance, like grammar check, like spell checks when it was first came in, it was like, wow, okay, this is getting auto corrected. But um, first draft emails, first draft prototypes, all of this is the future of marketing. I think auto generating campaigns, a lot of automation coming in, but still that human element, because automation will be integrated completely. And then how do you leverage that will be the question, I think, and that will never go away. And what the future of marketing would look like is mediocrity can't survive. It's a harsh term probably, but I think people who are good at what they do, they understand what they're doing. I think they'll be able to do much more, and yeah, there'll be no space for mediocrity. And I think it's a word of caution for all of us also, and we need to be continuously learning. You cannot be, no one can say that, hey, I've been in marketing for a decade, 2 decades, but everyone is a beginner in that sense. So continuously learning, continuously being aware, and being applying those learnings.
Yeah, we have to ride the wave of the times. I think it's very important to keep ourselves informed and educated with how things are going, and obviously apply that to how we can be more effective in our role. So my last question for you, Jubin, would be, how would you describe the role of the marketing leader or CMO in one word, and why?
I would say maybe there are 2 or 3 words, but growth translator and amplifier. So what I mean is marketing kind of sits at the middle of a lot of functions, product, engineering, sales, customer success, HR. So marketing's role is to kind of understand the messaging that the company needs to kind of send out and then amplify it. So the way I describe it, a growth translator and amplifier.
And may we amplify more voices in the future. Thank you so much, Jubin.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Sabrina. And thank you for watching CMO Chats by the Ortus Club. Catch my full interview on Spotify.
Yes, we will see you next time, and hopefully see you in the next CMO Chats. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much, Sabrina.